Well, a very warm welcome to Gustavo Ronaldo from DCS, one of our WPP operating companies in Brazil. Very warm welcome, very nice to have you joining us with the Stall TV. And thank you very much indeed for this football show. Do you want to explain a little bit about it?
It's one of the main soccer teams in Brazil. It's the most traditional one and has the large number of supporters.
That's pretty good supporter stuff. Well, hopefully it might improve my football.
Okay.
Let's start with, I think, the really fast-growing pace of Brazilian retail. It's a market from a retail perspective that's really going to show the world what growth is, isn't it, in the next few years?
Sure. Yes. As we can see, the whole country is developing fast. It's growing, and the retail scene it's going that way too. I guess that the contrast between the part of the retail that is developing is growing, and the other part that is falling behind but is trying to catch up. It's the most interesting thing to analyze. We brought you some examples that can show you that to you.
Okay, so let's take a look at some of the really intriguing Brazilian retail concepts. Perhaps the first place to start is looking at that sort of in-between space between the traditional retail, I suppose the disorganized element of retail versus the new emerging, more organized retail. And the Brazilian government have helped introduce quite an interesting in-between concept.
A good example of this transaction between the more disorganized retail format and a more organized one, it's the kind of popular shopping malls that government is building for the traditional illegal retailers that existed for a long time in Brazil, so they can have a legal space and they can have their own store space, a less expensive rate, so they can keep their lower prices, their good offer, because people in Brazil they tend to look for this kind of retail, this kind of more accessible and more informal retail.
Lots of people don't have problems on buying from those people.
Yes, Brazilians have much of a flexible ethics on that. It's because of the general education of the people. They don't have problems buying one thing that's illegal because they don't really know how legal is or how illegal is. So government is trying to push that forwards by constructing this kind of sites that those stores can operate in a legal way.
Unlike most countries, the Brazilian footwear industry is highly dynamic.
And we have one player that really calls our attention, that's Melissa. They make only plastic shoes, and they tend to work with designers from around the globe as designers from Brazil to give their products an visual appeal that's more differentiated from their competitors. And they have built a concept store in São Paulo that's besides a store to sell and show their products, it's an art gallery. Yeah. So they help construct this kind of visual appealing that the brand has by partnership with designers in its own site.
When we talk about direct sales in Brazil, we really are talking about an individual person selling to another individual, aren't we?
In Brazil, it's really popular. Lots of brands sell for woman to woman, like ladies that stay at home, have a second job, just selling perfumes and kind of cosmetics to other women. In Brazil, Avon, that is a multinational, they sell through this way. And the nice thing is that they have like their sales force. These women are bigger than the Brazilian army, so it's a really nice thing. It's a really powerful thing. It moves lots of money.
Yes, this kind of door-to-door sales, it's one thing we can bet. It's already growing in Brazil, and I bet that will grow more. We have examples from Nestlé that it is actually using that in Brazil in regions not so developed in the north of the country to get to regions where they couldn't with a normal retail format.
So what's happening in the e-commerce space in Brazil?
Yes, in Brazil, consumers are not as familiar to the internet usage as in Europe or in the States. Consumers tend to use more the internet to compare prices than to buy the product itself. One of the main sites of e-commerce in Brazil is called Buscapé. It's a site of price comparisons. It's kind of a Google of products. It does not sell anything directly. But Brazil has also many large department retailers in the web, such as Submarino, Americanas.com. It's another great example of a player that is selling a lot of things. We have some innovative initiatives also that players trying to sell things on Twitter directly to consumers. So it's kind of a very fast-growing market also in Brazil.
Brazil is increasingly setting its own trends. Are there any examples of how these trends are reflected into retail concepts?
In Brazil, we have some places, some galleries, some shopping malls that are focusing on one kind of people. Gallery of Rock, or Galeria do Rock, as we would say in Portuguese. It's a place that puts together people that like rock and roll, and they have CDs, they have t-shirts and everything based on that culture.
That classical thing of rock t-shirts with the band's names, and they have something with skatewear culture too, kind of mixed up in both things as an alternative culture. So rock culture and hip-hop culture kind of mixing together.
Yeah, and funny thing is, like, now in Brazil we have soap operas are really popular, and there's a soap opera right now in Brazil that is based, a part of that, on that gallery. So they have like free promotion because they are important, they are part of the culture.
Well, thank you very much indeed for sharing with us I think one of some of the very fast-moving developments of one of the key brick markets, and I'm sure we will all be hearing much more about the retail innovations in Brazil going forward. So thank you very much indeed.